Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Soccer AM Goes Pro. This is the new series I'm doing with the Soccer AM boys in Football Manager 2012. And, I'm going to be doing this, as you know, bi-monthly. That means I'm going to do every 2 months per update. As you know, it's a bit easier overall because there are so many matches, not to mention episodes will be they'll be shorter, but they'll be longer, but there won't be as many episodes, which, I don't know, compromise maybe. But I think it'll give a good indication as to how I develop the team rather than every month. It sort of breaks it down. So that's why I'm doing a sort of bi-monthly. But getting over everything here, as you can see, the next game we're going to be into October is in the FA Cup second qualifying round against Tottenham. Now, for those who watched the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago on ITV, I think it was the second round. I think it was Tottenham versus Charlton. Was it Charlton? Or was it? No, it's not Charlton. What am I talking about? That was the last game they had. It was Bristol Rovers. That's right, Bristol Rovers. I think they beat them like 5-1. It was Bristol Rovers went to Tottenham this particular Testwood Stadium, which is good to see they've actually got that one right, and at least Tottenham scored, which is fair play to them. But it was really weird getting these because I think I did the show on the day of that particular game, and I sort of drilled Tottenham. I was like, whoa, that was a bit weird. But so that's just a little note thing there. But Soccer AM, yeah. We'll go over the league. This is where we are in the league after 2 months. Now, as you can see, we're 15th, which isn't too bad. Now, there are a few things I will have to explain. By the way, guys, this is going to be completely improvised. I'm not doing as I did for England, which was like more professional. It wasn't professional, but sort of did highlights. I know a few people didn't really like that, so I went, oh, okay, I'll just do it like this. As you know, you guys like this. 15. Now, we only won 2 games. We only lost 2 though, but we've drawn 5. That's not too bad. Now, this team is essentially an amateur team. If I show you the team very quickly, obviously you've got Trev, you've got Nutbeam, you've got Rocket, you've got Baby Elves, you've got Tubes, you've got Rushton. They all have AMA contracts, amateur contracts. What that means is, you may have noticed that quite a few players here, you don't know who they are. That's because I've brought them in, because I have to build a team. This is what this is about. It is building a team literally from the ground up. You start with a bunch of amateurs, in this case the Soccer AM crew, and you build it up from there. So that's why. That's why we're drawing so many, is because we have an awful defence. Since then, I think this is like the second game, I think, or this Tottenham game will be at least the second game in which some of these new lads will be able to join. As you can see, I've got a Canadian youngster, I've got Dali Gomez, who is the Argentinian lad. I thought, get a bit of a South American flair in there. But overall I don't think we're doing too badly. But as I say, the actual Soccer AM guys themselves aren't actually that great, so you might see the likes of, I'm going to put it this way, Max Rushton, he's a great goal scorer and everything. There he is. He's 32. Not a great age, if I'm honest, for most, like your leading striker. You do tend to want a few youngsters, and that's where Anthony Wilson has come in. And I'll show you a few the results and stuff. Now, this was all the pre-season, as you can see, against, I've talked about these before, but this is how we've gone on. As you can see, we got off to a flyer against Dover, away as well, which is really good. And as you can see, these things, Anthony Wilson, the debutant, doing very, very well. As you see, we did tend to leak goals. It was 1-1, it was 2-1, it was 2-1 at half time. We came back, and there he is himself, Max Rushton, in the 89th minute, popping up just with something out of the ordinary. You just got to say, because watch this, absolutely fantastic goal to get us on the way on the Blue Square Bet Premier League. So there are a few players who might not be familiar, but what a ball this is from Tubes. And Rushton, not with blinding pace, has to be said, got quite a bit of luck there, but nevertheless, a good goal to get us on the way there in the league. Next one was against Basingstoke. It was 2-2. Rushton again with the goals, and we were leading 2-0 at one point. As you can see, Rushton with the 2 goals. Unfortunately, Basingstoke did bring it back because, I say, a leaky defence. When you do have a bunch of amateurs, literally amateurs, at the back, it does tend to spoil the fun a bit, I guess. This was the ball. This was to make it 2-0. It was Baby Elves' ball, short ball, not being with a terrible shot, but Rushton's there on the post to tap it in. And you can see the bookings as well on that. Great. I think my assistant manager might be a fan of the whole hard tackling thing. Salisbury we lost, but there are going to be games where you're not going to do very well. As you can see, more bookings. We didn't really do too well here. I think I actually holidayed this one because I don't know why. I think I've holidayed like 1 or 2 games just because I'm a bit lazy. I won't do it in the future. It's just I just thought I just wanted to see how good the assistants are. I usually do it as a test to see how the assistants are, but they're not very good. So maybe Elvis though getting a goal brought it back to 3-1. Didn't really do much else with it though. As you can see, the bulk of the draws then start to come in. Farnborough, another team area. I'm going to show you Anthony Wilson. This was his goal, as you can see, he got booked earlier in the game. But we took the game to them. We dominated. Well, didn't dominate actually. We just outdone them in possession just slightly. They had more shots though, but as I expect, these are sort of this is, as I say, at this point an amateur team going up against a semi-professional team. Anthony Wilson, good. It was a long ball. I think I'm beginning to see, how I should start to play this soccer AM now. The long ball, the old hoofball style football. Anyway, Hampton and Richmond. Rushton again with the goal. He's quite prolific, Max Rushton. I've got to give him it. As you can see, we only had 4 shots the whole game, but we still managed to get a draw. Hampton and Richmond, by the way, are still without a win in this league. They are bottom, I think. I don't know if you saw before. I think, well, at least last time I checked, they were bottom. But I think this is the first game I brought in 1 or 2. I guess professionals. You can see Max Rushton completely unmarked in the middle, and what a header that is from the big man. And then, quite incredibly, they did level up, but in the 84th minute, as you can see, Scott Lavelle, or Lavelle, I don't know how you pronounce that, sorry, brings him down, and, well, it looked like we were going to win, and Hampton and Richmond were going to get their first win of the season, but no, that was not to be the case. As you can see now, well, the game's taking its time, kind of ruining the illusion. But yeah, this was quite incredible, really. I really did not expect this to happen. As you can see, this is what happens when you do come across penalty. It's level up against the bar. The goalkeeper really didn't do a great deal, has to be honest, but nevertheless, it got us another point, and if that means, that means we stay alive in the Conference South, then so be it. Welling, who are actually really good on this, they dominated. As you can see, we were winning at one point. Anthony Wilson getting us off to a flyer in the first minute. I don't know where this even came from. As you can see, it was at the Luther Blissett ground, which is, of course, Soccer AM's home ground. We're there to the Luther Blissett stand. But you can see it was just a long, well, not the long ball, but it was through the goalkeeper again, which is interesting. When you can see the long ball again over the top to Wilson, he has the pace to beat the defence, and he put us in the lead in what was, I think, 40 seconds. So yeah, that was a really good start for us, but unfortunate slip. And then our other winner this period was against Weston-super-Mare. Now, for some reason, I don't know how on earth they had 2 sentence off, but they did. They dominated us again in terms of shots and on target, but we had the goals. Anthony Wilson, once again, this guy's an absolute beast for me up front. If you are managing a sort of someone at this level, he's a decent player. He's got pace. I tell you, this lad has some decent pace. He's not absolutely brilliant, but see Baby Elvis, who's actually quite decent for an amateur, I've got to say. He's not amazing, but he's actually quite decent. But what do you expect, this Baby Elvis? And it was slide across to Anthony Wilson with an easy tap in. But yeah, it was really good. Baby Elvis is really, as you can see, we've got his goal as well. But then, we got more draws. I'm not too disheartened by draws. We are getting points. At least we're not losing. We could easily just lie down as we did against Welling and just get dominated. But no, we're not. Tonbridge, it was a nice 0-0. And then Chelmsford went there. Unfortunately, Wilson's goal, 85th minute, looked to have won it, but as you can see, Akurang, I think his name was, scored for them in the 91st minute. Let's have a look at Wilson's goal now. And at this time I really did think, this is the winner. I thought, yes, got our big 3 points here, but it was Rushton again with all the work. Really good play from him. Kind of lucky. But I got it across. I'm not too sure what the defender was doing there. Kind of lucky break for Wilson. Very lucky, as you can see. I've said it quite a few times, but nevertheless, it went in. Akurang, though, let's have a look at his goal. Again, I think you can kind of gauge an idea as to the defence. I mean, what that was from Tago. I think it was Tago. I don't know what his name was. But, you can see quite a dodgy defence. I mean, that was a good goal. I mean, we can't really expect the goalkeeper to do much. I think I'd replaced the goalkeeper at this point because he wasn't that great. I think Hartley, I think his name was, had been brought in. But, yeah, that is our first recap, I guess, how we've done in the Blue Square Bet South Conference League thing. In terms of tactics, I'm always using my familiar 4-4-2 and 4-2-3-1. That's all I use really. I don't really use anything else. But obviously, when you do have a squad, I like to point out to a few people who are expecting me for some reason to get promoted every season, end up in the Premier League by like season 7 or 8. That's not going to happen, because it is, as I say, quite literally building a team from the ground up. All I did, Soccer AM on this, as you know, are not a professional team, nor are they even registered into a league. So what I did, as I say, went into the editor and put them in, and well, generally as a sort of just as an amateur club, put them in the Blue Square Bet Premier League, and that really is the closest thing I can do from building a team from the ground up without making one. Just full of amateurs, basically. So, well, actually, I would say Baby Elvis is quite I think it's because he's one of the youngest of the cast, and if we look at the ages, I mean, we've got youth players here. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, the main ones you might remember. I mean, James Kettleman, I think he's one of the cast. Let's say Baby Elvis, though, really quite young for the cast. I mean, Rocket's not bad up front. They haven't really given. I think he's been injured, actually, Rocket. I think that's why. Typical little Rocket. But yeah, we've got the FA Cup second qualifying round before we get into the big stage. I think there are 4 qualifying rounds, so we've got quite a long way to go before we get into the main event itself. But if we can beat Tottenham, who are not even in a league on this game, if I go to their profile very quickly, if there are any Tottenham fans, or if I don't know why you're watching, but as you can see, not particularly well known on the game, but whatever. And yeah, that's that. So if you are expecting me to just sort of make a team full of amazing players straight away, then you'll have to be patient, because that's what this is all about. I'm building a team up, and yeah, so it will take a lot of time, this one. My main focus, I think I might change it. Originally, my ambitions at the start of the season was to get a mid-table finish. I probably will revise that in January to avoiding relegation. Because I didn't realise that the mountain I had to climb with this team. But yeah, nevertheless, if we can survive for this season, then we'll just see where we go from there. So that's going to be that, lads, and I hope you enjoyed it. Episodes will become more common now, as I've got over most of what is considered to be the hard part of my first semester anyway in university. I've got a little bit more breathing space now, so hopefully episodes should be a bit more. Bit quicker coming out. So thanks for watching, guys. Give the video a like, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.